let's start with what happened this past Saturday night. We were, in this case, scheduled to have dinner with two very close friends who were in from New York.
Living people. They were real people.
Real people.
Real people.
And this was at Mastro's in Beverly Hills. Great place. It's about 15
minutes, depending on traffic.
From where we live out here in West LA. And
that means there's always traffic.
And as usual, I had timed it down to the second. Yeah. So the minute we were supposed to leave, the exact minute we were supposed to bolt, Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos threw a 4th-and-1 prayer, and Marvin Mims of the Broncos snatched it out of the sky. He also went to the University of Oklahoma and played there. He snatched it out of the sky in the end zone, and Broncos and Bengals was going, oh no, overtime, dreaded overtime, and I am screwed.
This is while I'm driving. Living with him is like...
Wait a second.
Yeah,
okay,
the great Santini.
Okay, you're jumping ahead as usual. Yeah. You're telling the story before it needs to be told. But the point was, you were like, do you want me to drive or should I drive? And I said, you drive, but I didn't explain I need to watch the game on my phone.
Well, I knew there was a reason why he said I should drive, because we always have the little tiff about, I can drive. No, I'll drive. I can drive. And so he said, I could drive.
She does have a car that is her pet car, which is a 1988 Mercedes, right?
Yeah, 560 SL Mercedes. It's a really
collector's
cool
item
car.
Right?
Yeah, I love that car.
Okay, so
but
a lot
we
of
did
times,
not take that car.
But a lot of times you say, let me drive and we'll go in the little car.
Yeah,
but we went in the bigger car.
If you live in LA, if people don't know about this, you cannot park anywhere. It is the world of non-parking. So you have to have a miniature car to park anywhere because there is no parking in LA.
But Mastro's has valet.
Well, they have valet parking.
So it doesn't really matter. So you do have another car.
I have another car, but I drove the other car.
Okay. It's a Bentley.
Right.
It's a big blue Bentley. It's a great car.
Yeah.
But it's pretty big.
It's a big car. Okay. But whatever.
So here we go. And we are at each other's throats because I have an extremely hard time riding in the passenger seat with her driving, because
he acts as though I'm going to crash every 2 minutes. Now, I've been driving for a really long time, and I've never, knock wood, ever had an accident. I've never had any type of anything. But the minute I drive and there's a red light, he starts bracing himself as though I'm crashing into the car in front of me. And it's really annoying. I say to him, don't worry, it's okay.
I rarely
I have to calm him down.
Passenger with anybody. I like to be in control.
Well, the difference when you're driving, we're going 150 miles an hour, and I'm bracing myself because this is like a wild white knuckle ride. Okay. I don't do that. I just am very careful. But he's bracing himself as though we're going to crash.
At certain times, you drive like a little old lady, and at other times, you drive like we're Formula One racing through the streets of LA. I drive
according to what's on the traffic lane. I mean, if they're going slow, I go slow.
I'm trying to watch on my phone the overtime of Broncos at Bengals, because I love Joe Burrow, and all of a sudden, I'm watching, and the Bengals have a field goal to win the game. And the kid
I don't
chokes
know
it.
that because
I know, and I'm like
driving.
out of my mind. I said, "Oh no, he missed the field goal."
I just hear him muttering things, and I don't know. I'm just trying to pay attention to the road.
I'm trying to watch what's happening up ahead, and the first thing
you don't have to watch. What are you? You're not driving.
But the first thing that happens, we get on what's called Little Santa Monica by the Peninsula Hotel, and we get behind this SUV in the right lane, and there's nobody in the left lane.
Right.
There's nobody anywhere, and the SUV, and I look up ahead, he's talking on his phone, and he's going like 4 miles an hour in the right lane. Right. And we get right behind him, and we're starting to get later and later because we're not going to make it on time to Mastro's. And you're just puttering along
because
behind him.
Because I'm staying in the right lane because we have to stay in the right lane to eventually make a right turn. So I'm not going to cut around him.
That's like a mile and a half up the road. And I'm like, just go around. And you're getting mad at me for backseat driving. I'm actually side seat driving. I told him,
why don't you just do what you're doing, and I'm driving. It's going to be okay.
Okay, but it's just silly because you have these driving quirks, like out here in LA, there are a whole lot of left turns with double left turn lanes. Am I right?
Out here in LA, nobody pays attention to rules. They in the middle of the street, you're driving, they just decide to make a U-turn. So they just turn around in the middle of the street while you're driving.
But I think they're all good drivers.
They're terrible drivers.
The worst drivers in the world are in New York City because they're psycho cab drivers.
The best drivers are in New York City.
I mean, you can get run over by a cab driver at any moment. Really? Okay,
I can drive in the middle of rush hour in Times Square.
This is your anti-LA bias here.
No, the people here don't know how to drive.
Okay,
get in an Uber car. Even the Uber car driver tells you.
I'm horrified every time we get in a double left lane because if we're in the inside left turn lane, you just wander into the right lane because you got to stay in your lane or you're going to ram people who are.
But then we're driving and I see the guy, he's double parked, and I'm going to wait to go around him because there are cars coming on my left, and you go, you're going to have to go around him. Oh, really? Like I'm in a driver's test or something.
But you wander out into the right lane of the left turn lane where
every woman out there knows they go through this with their husband or their boyfriend or whoever they're with because this is a common thing. It's like, I don't get it, but you just think that you're the only person who knows how to drive in the world.
Okay, so we go from
it's not the way
we're puttering behind this SUV with the guy talking on his phone to we cross Wilshire Boulevard, which is a major intersection, and we're still on Little Santa Monica, but all of a sudden they allow people suddenly to park up against the right curb.
They're double parking and they're valeting.
They're not double, they're parked.
Yeah, but there are people valeting, they're getting out because somebody's getting out into a restaurant.
I know, but they're just parked cars. And I know when I'm by myself, I always have to left turn.
Accelerate to 150 miles an hour and just go around them all.
No, you have to get in the left lane because it's too tight for two cars to pass the parked cars. It really goes down to a single lane because the right lane up against the parked cars is only like half a car wide.
Yeah, but you just have to wait.
And she just barrels down the right-hand lane, and there's not enough lane there, and I'm out of my mind. I'm holding on for dear life because we're going to...
You should have just worried about your game. You had more issues in your game
but
than
we're going to sideswipe the cars on the right.
We're not sideswiping the cars. I look in my rearview mirror to see I can pull over to the left, cut around the guy, and get back onto the right. That's what I did. But you should just concern yourself with who's playing, who's kicking, who's
I'm
scoring.
I'm holding on for dear life. I hold on to the
you
bar up there on the side, and I'm just...
Go drive with Hazel. Drive with Hazel.
Hazel.
Right, Hazel?
You're a good driver.
Hazel said, I'm not driving with him. Okay. He's a psycho.
No, I'm not a psycho. I do drive fast, but I drive well. I'm knocking on wood. I haven't had
whatever. We made it to the restaurant in 6 minutes.
Okay, we did.
We got there at 5:01.
She actually did a good drive, but...
Oh, thank you.
But the point is that sometimes you shock me because you go from little old lady driver to... this is a 60s reference, but little old lady from Pasadena, because the Beach Boys did a song about the little old lady from Pasadena who's like a race car driver.
I never drive a little old lady unless I have to if the traffic's going slow, but whatever. This is a common debate between men and women since the beginning of time.
I don't know that it is like
this. The cavemen probably, they were rolling rocks, and then the husband was yelling at the wife probably for rolling the rock the wrong way or rolling the rock too slow or something. Seriously, it's back since cavemen days.
Okay, so my New Year's resolution,
Gladiator days.
We're going to get to the resolutions in just a little bit
here.
Because it
is almost New Year's.
Is that don't
drive with me
in 2025. Anymore. I'm driving.
Oh,
that's my resolution.
You can
I'm
go
driving
drive your car.
Every single time. No, you're going to ride with me.
No, not in this way.
And the problem is, if we take my car, it's a ZR1 Corvette.
He drives like a maniac.
I don't drive like a maniac, but she doesn't like to ride in my car because it's not that comfortable, and I appreciate that because it's a rocket ship.
It's not that comfortable. We pull off like the highway to go onto a service road and you just accelerate like 150 miles an hour and you say, oh, it's the only time I can accelerate is when I'm pulling off the highway or when I'm pulling onto the highway.
Now you're doing Bristol, Connecticcut. I used
to do that in Bristol all the time.
Okay, well, I didn't get to drive that much on I-84 because you could go.
Right, so we'd get off, we'd go onto the ramp to the highway and
we'd only be on I-84 for like a mile.
110 miles an hour to the light.
And I'd say to you,
it gets 2 minutes to drive.
How fast do you think we were just going? And
110.
No, you'd say 82.
And you say no, it really was 110.
I'd say we were actually going 110. Okay, but I would just sort of get my kicks, on Route 66, as they say, and it was I-84, but you're only on it, and it's just level flat
2 minutes
for 2 minutes, and then you exit at Queen Street to go to the restaurants we used to go to.
Right.
I miss those restaurants.
They were good.
Bristol, that sushi place, it was really good.
Yeah, it was a fun. It was a good. Yeah, they're great sushi.
We even liked Subway there.
The Subway was really good. They had a lot of different toppings for your sandwich, more than they have in LA.
I know. Yeah.
Here it's just avocado.
We didn't have Hazel though in those days.
Long ago. She's good.